We've seen multiple different versions of Sentinels so far. We've seen the team who lost to 100 Thieves in the playoff stage trying to get to this event, VALORANT Champions. We've seen the team who gets beaten in groups. But then again, we've also seen the team who 2-0s Master winners, okay? Who just dominates these players and acts like it's nothing. Today we're going to see kind of a mix, but the main part that I liked today was Sentinels who played their game. They didn't really go too crazy in any regard. There were a little, mess ups, mishaps, whatever it was here and there. But in terms of the 3-map series, I think this was one of the best games that we've seen so far. In terms of Fnatic, I think a lot of people don't take me serious when I say this, and I understand where it comes from because it is very easy for a noob or someone who is very casual, doesn't understand the game, to point their finger and say, Boaster can't get any kills, lol, he's the reason why they lost. It's been something that I've been complaining about all season long in terms of his performance. I don't necessarily think that having your one-off game of getting 9 kills, 6 kills is bad. I really don't. But in terms of the consistency on how many of those games he's putting up these stink bombs, 3, 6, 9 kills in a map, it's problematic. Missing trades, okay, deaths in terms of first engagement on this controller role, putting himself in a position where, if he's calling master classes and, Alpha's having an MVP performance, Durka MVP performance like we've seen in previous years, I don't really care as much, but the fact that he's losing, it's a big problem to me, and I think he really needs to consider what that means to him and how he needs to kind of go about it here. And the first thing to take a look at here on this bonus round is mainly not even the fact that it's a bonus, but just the map of Sunset. So as we can see here, Sentinels are back to the old reliable, the KO Gecko that kind of got them in this position where they were here with this many points. Okay, so this was the comp they ran initially. And now we have Fnatic, a team who doesn't actually play this map. And you see, not necessarily uncharacteristic, but taking a look at the roles here, Alpha Breach, I think it's kind of underrated for him. I think he does a really good job in terms of the fragging department, and it seems like since he has some knowledge just playing duelists in general, he's a good pair with Durka where they can run around and get a lot done. But the Astra is coming out here, which is very interesting to see. Not a lot of teams have really tried it. We've seen Viper, we've seen Clove, we've seen Omen, but not really like the Astra has been brought out yet. So definitely interesting to say the least in terms of the stopping power. It's there, but maybe slowing the game down can be like a little harder by not having the Omen. And on the bonus here, we're going to see Fnatic make it seem like Sentinels is kind of in trouble here, as they are going for a little bit of a misdirection towards this A line here, with a pullback star to get it close. That's your main advantage running Astra, in my opinion, is this pullback star. So walking up here, up-down position market, not going to get any value.
But this is the round.
A full smoke here to walk with. They love to do this, especially on Abyss as well. So here comes the split timing, just misdirecting for the people in spawn. Second big whiff. JohnQT unable to trade. They have no idea they're here. Perfect backstab so far. 3v4 now. 2v4 now. Sentinels in trouble here. And when you see this, you're like, wow, it's just EDG all over again. They're just walking all over them. And as a Sen fan, you had to be worried, at least at the start of this game, right? Being in a position where your team abandoned the comp they were running in terms of the Neon. They're back onto the KO Gecko Raze, and it's a concern, to say the least. So after getting bonus, Sentinels did have the opportunity to save, and I can't stress how good this is. Funny enough, it is something that we kind of crack jokes at Fnatic for doing, just because the consistency of it and how much they actually did it in the games where they're getting blown out. But at the end of the day, it's not something that's bad that they do. I just find it funny. So getting back to the point, again, keeping 2 rifles where they don't go for the 2v4 like noobs, they keep the 2 guns, and they put themselves in a position where even though they're down 0-3, they can bring it back very easily here in terms of, again, having these 2 guns and getting them activated. We've complained or talked about it before, where the duelist player, for whatever reason, does not get the gun. It's an interesting concept to think of. I think it's more of a ranked thing where, since you saved, you get to play with the gun. But at the end of the day, I think it's really beneficial to put it on the duelist. But I think what is important to note is Zekken isn't like on a heater right now. If Zekken's like 6-1, 6-2, whatever it is, sure, get it on him. Maybe he's 1 or 2 off of his ult. He could potentially get it and make a play. But if Saucy's feeling good, and obviously we have tenz, so it's good to have guns on them as well. What's weird about this Fnatic approach here is the idea that they're going to go slow. So they're intentionally dodging the KO knife there. Alpha was in a really deep position to stop any sort of a mid aggro. It looks like that was kind of like the the idea that they had. That's why he's in that spot. And without a starter being used, without utility being used, two people are just going to peek tiles into an up-down top mid. I don't know if they've never seen that setup before, or they didn't think that they were going to be there, but really, really confusing to just see them throw their lives away like that. So now, in the double man advantage, Sentinels are going to sit. We've seen it with Leviathan before, just sitting around this top mid area. You want to go B? We'll run over there. You want to go A? We'll run over there. They don't actually need to do anything when we have lines of control with the camera and Tenz's forward position there. So as he's backing up, he hears a step or two. He's going to take away the right side. Sentinels players peeking mid here, moving over. Tenz on a new line of info, just going for a poke. If he gets a headshot, great. If he doesn't, he can back up. Ends up missing it, gets put down very low, needs to trade the gun here soon. On the 1 HP play, he's going, on the 1 HP, he's going to make a play like that, which is exactly what we need to see from Sentinels, right? Play like you're in the advantage, play like you're the better players, because when you do, this is what happens. The main thing Sentinels are missing, at least watching Sunset previously with the Neon, is just their retake. This KO Gecko retake that's just so hard to deal with. John on a late lurk as well. Alpha's even investing the breach ult in this round. 2 cleanup kills from John, 1v4 left, trying to make a play with a flash, ends up getting spammed. This is the depth that we need to see from Sentinels, where they have options and they aren't tripping and falling over their utility, not having their guns out.
Give away the game. Boaster through middle. Is he going to catch second here? Well, timing is everything. Boaster. Oh! It wasn't pretty. Had that many reps
I really love the sound bites
Let's focus up. Yeah.
that they've been including here, not only in this tournament but in previous, where it happened in LOTUS when we were watching Fnatic last time, where Boaster was saying, boys, let's take a deep breath and let's get on the same page. You guys just need to listen to me. Okay, so even someone like Chronicle is stepping up in a position to say that. So I don't really watch a lot of the vlogs or the interviews, if I'm being honest. So if anybody does and there are answers, I'd love to know what is going on with Fnatic. Have any players spoken about that, where they're, constantly, having to like say that? Not necessarily that it's a bad thing, but I think it's just interesting to hear where it's more stern, right? It isn't more like an uplifting thing. It's more of a thing where like, hey, let's lock it back in, let's go. Where either someone is like grieving or someone is like doing too much, saying too much, whatever it is. It's interesting. I want to know more about it.
Why do they have no idea of the creeping death behind? No!
Fnatic do a great job of slowing down the game, specifically with the Astra. I want to credit it to Boaster, just going back and forth, taking his time, letting people have gaps, plays they can make. It was really good. It was a really good start for Fnatic. Now for Sentinels here, okay, the game might end right here, right now. We see basically a 5-person B main play coming out here with 5 people, and Alpha's in a spot to run a trap off of the camera. What's weird to see from Durka is the way that he approaches this. It's almost like he didn't know what the play was, and he was just operating off of just raw like intuition here. So the main thing I want to highlight is the kit. Okay, stun, drill, double flash, nade, double satchel. So in a spot where he's raid bossed, right? So Boaster has gone for no utility outside of like the 1 star that's in play here, and the other one that he bought. So he has 1 in his pocket and he has 1 on the ground. And Durka's actually raid boss. The way that he plays the raid boss is just so concerning to see. So dodges the knife here. Okay, camera gets a ping. Again, what I want you to pay attention to is just the way the utility is like used. So the pull goes through. The stun is going out with the drill. He's just going dry on his own satchel, where I don't know who was supposed to be affected by this utility. No one on the screen is stunned here, right? The stun was almost meant for like the help or the people that were backing up. So I think what needs to happen is he needs to be bouncing his nade off of the wall before he actually goes for a commitment. Because now you make it like, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to back up into the suck drill, or do you want to stand here and burn the nade? Where with my raid boss Ghost, I can kind of like chip away at you. From like maybe 10, 15 meters, whatever it is, if we're talking about taking engagements like this, the distance like that. If he needs to use a satchel to get away or to back someone up, he also has that option. But this was the game right here. And Fnatic are going to fumble big time. So even on the first blood there, it's going to go even 4v4. I'd say, again, advantage attackers in terms of the amount of utility that was used, the amount of info they got, and the fact that the raid boss is down. And now they're going to contact out here and take their time. Alpha, no armor, breach, no fault line to actually stop them. Hero almost getting caught out there. Tap to draw the movement. Tenz gets one. Zekken sitting and waiting. Knows he doesn't need to go to the cage just yet. Chronicle insane 2K. But Zekken cleans everybody up. 2v1. Boaster. No armor. And I think 1 star on cooldown. Here it is coming up. 10-15 seconds right now. So, can he put his team in a position where they convert? Sentinels play the advantage by not sitting around. They go push something, and they're on the board with the pistol. This game is just back where it was. So in this situation, the Sentinels bonus here. Saucy walks into an up-down, ends up pulling someone away. Fnatic forfeit the B site by walking 4 people into mid, while Zekken uses his rocket to take it, get the bomb down. I don't know what this is or what we're doing here. Full breach kit online, dart shock, double satchel, a star or 2. How are we going to defeat them in this post plan? Are we, number 1, going to do a heavy flank opt? Maybe 2, maybe 3 players pushing the flank and not letting them do the B main spam, right? If we're not going to do that and Boaster's going to go by himself, maybe we can make it seem like we're doing some sort of like faster paced retake or using utility to gain control of the bomb site, market, whatever it is, to where he can actually like make a play. But again, flanking against the Sentinel, especially by yourself, just very like confident in almost like the play here where he's playing this. It kind of feels like a 4v2 where he's like, you know what, I'll be the round security. We're up, we should be able to convert it. I'm just going to break off and go see if I can clean up something that goes wrong. They don't have a cipher, I'm going to go flank because they might not be paying attention to it. I don't get it. So now the even footing here is just nowhere to be found. Tenz standing in the open, 1 recon dart used, 2 people fall. No one able to peek off the fault line, 4v4 to a 2v2. And now they're like, well, that wasn't smart. Let's just go back up and save and see if we can do the same thing that Sentinels did and catch him off next round. He hasn't learned. He hasn't learned his lesson from last time. It's evident. This is very dangerous. He doesn't know what he's getting himself into. Set play gets value. 3v4 from Fnatic. How are they going to play it? Hero just baiting again. Boaster just left out on an island. No chance to even play. 3v2 here now for Sentinels. Just going to plant the bomb, knowing they don't have any smokes in play. They're just going to back out. John can use his ult here. Get pings. Zelsa's going to reposition even though he's revealed. All that utility used in market, and they just have about nothing left. 1 or 2 pieces. Tenz 40 HP, sitting with a shorty, not making a play. He knows they have to tap the bomb. Someone here has first, whether it's John or whether it's Zelsis. John contacts front site. Zelsis looking to take a timing. Punished. Tenz, unknown. Getting a little low here. Cam to get him off. Backstab comes through. No one paying attention. Sentinels sneak away with that map. Unreal. I mean, surely not, right? I mean, surely not. That's not happening, right? This is one of the most tense 1v1s we've seen in a second. Tenz able to get the kill on the hero. Tap looking for more. No toys left in play other than Mosh Pit. Chronicle has a pretty quick flank here. Has a Bucky in play though. Watch the timing. Jump spot. Not seeing him just yet. Sitting, waiting. Chronicle. Slowly getting closer, clearing the tube. Tenz is ring around the rosying him. I mean, it's so close down to a literal pixel. If he has a Bucky, it might be winnable, but Tenz with an insane shot onto him there just insta-kills him. We haven't talked about it just yet, but comp v comp here, main difference obviously we see here is in the controller picks. Okay, Brim to the Astra, what's the big difference? Astra, you can slow down the game. It's what Boaster likes to do. I think this is a good pick for him. He's going to be in a position where he can do pullback stars hookah, right? He can do pullback stars on the line holders, either shower or long. Okay, he can do kind of like deeper smokes. He can do closer smokes. He can add a utility star into the bomb site to make the site hit easier. On top of the ultimate in play with the wall, he can use a wall to defuse a bomb. He can use a wall to cut a site in half. He can use a wall as an extra smoke. There's a lot more options you have in terms of Brim, who can kind of be considered one-dimensional. So the first time we're going to be able to see it here is on a 4v4 situation where the score is 3-3. We have Dirk on 10 HP, pistol, Vandal. So we've talked about hero baiting before. I don't understand what he doesn't understand about the idea of making a play. This guy, I've never seen him make a play in the advantage. I've never seen him make a play in the even footing. He only knows how to make a play when the round is just over. All of like the risk and panic leaves his body, and then he just gets a couple exit frags before the round ends. So look at the context of the situation here. Boaster's literally saying, yo boys, I'm going to use my wall. We might be able to defuse this. So if we are going to do that, I would personally just like to see something happen first. So maybe if Alpha 1-deeks Zekken right there and we use the wall, great. Okay, that makes more sense to me. But we're using it in the man disadvantage. Okay, then we're not using any other ults. So Alpha's going to drop. It's back to 3v4 here. Okay, tenz able to walk through the wall. Where's Hero? You're asking? With the Vandal and the armor? Where's Hero? He's in U-Haul. He hasn't used a Prowler or a Tether at all. So definitely something that probably isn't good to do. Here's his exit frag. Now he's just sitting and waiting for him to push through the wall. Confused. Sentinels are up 4. This had a chance to be an all-time round. It really did. 3K from Chronicle. Now Saucy in potential to 1v5. Check out the spray transfer. Insta-killed him. If he has more HP and he can peek this with confidence, I could just go ahead and say that he might win it. I mean, I think that he'd actually be favored in that setting to win it. But Fnatic, that's the only way that they were really winning rounds. It's just the multi-kills and the ult usage. This is a great round to talk about the concept of being on the same page and how important it is, and unfortunately how stupid you can look if you aren't, especially at this level. So, bomb site exec gonna come in here from Sentinels against the Nightfall. Okay, we're going to play in the bomb site. I think the idea here is that they want to deny the pit if they can. Alpha is out of position and unable to capitalize, so he's going to throw a mosh pit that a raze can just get around. Boaster is going to be revealed, and he's just going to commit to just gambling and just seeing if he can cheese somebody through the smoke. He actually hasn't done any damage, unless he's the one who's done damage to John QT in this round. So Zekken's going to get pretty much a free first blood here off of Alpha's poor kit usage. So Alpha is going to try to run through, but the Viper wall was up, so there was no one to kill. Now he's going to back up and try to play the retake here. So, again, not helping the guy in the bomb site. What's this? Why? What's the point? Your teammate didn't go through elbow. No one's alive in the bomb site to get help. I just don't know. How is it so hard for Fnatic? So after losing the pistol to some aggression they may or may not regret, Sounders are in a spot where if they win this round, they're in a good spot because the economy isn't going to spiral out of control, number one, and number two, they can start to get into the ult game here, and Fnatic won't have so much momentum. What's interesting to see is Zekken opt for the Vandal here. We know this player as a Phantom player, okay, an abuser, I'd go as far as to say. So buying the Vandal here, I guess the only thing that makes sense is that he's just looking for the headshot range, you know, looking for that insta-kill, and if he was doing that, I think it would make more sense if he was doing it by himself. But the fact that he has Zellsis under him and an up-down with a Phantom, I think it's totally fine for him to buy because we're going to see him whiff pretty badly in this gunfight here, unable to convert. So no utilities being used here, it's just a peek together. He's in the middle of his strafe, so his feet aren't set, and he's just spraying around him. Okay, Zellsis is at a spot where he can't get a trade. He actually doesn't even deal any damage. He has to run away, waste his molly, unable to really contest it, didn't make a decision with it, so now he can't deny to the fuse. So much chip damage going in. John to 30, Zellsis to 48. This is a huge mistake from Sentinels. Hero almost getting caught out there. Zellsis unable to convert. Alpha with the ult online. He's gonna whip it, or he's gonna rip it, sorry, and go into the snakebite here. The mistake here is that the snakebite makes it vulnerable, so it takes double damage. It's an insta kill. Okay, in the man disadvantage, obviously tenz is just gonna get bored and just give up and just peek on timing. So he's gonna do that by himself and get killed by Durka, who was called out to be on a elevated position early on. In a 3v5 with no HP, they're just going to have to save and hope things go their way next time. Fnatic have a great round here with a back and forth. A big B pump comes in here using a lot of utility. Here's your benefit of the Astra, dropping 2 stars, really big pressure over here on B. John has rotated over from A. Zellsis has the short walk. tenz has the shower walk. The op has been brought out here with Zekken's Showstopper online. Let's see how they kind of play out here and what ends up going wrong. So tenz kind of gets timing here on the TP, just under the impression that they were going B, so he was going to go for a deep line there. So he's only good for 1. The mistake here was Zellsis' molly is just understanding the fact of what you want the molly to do. And what Zellsis needs to know is that he doesn't need this molly to do damage, right? So if we're talking about this as the entrance to showers, okay, let's just say that this is showers here, right? Zellsis wants the middle of his molly probably in a position like this, where it's looking just like that. they can just walk around it. They can walk behind it. They can look into it. It's not going to deal any damage, but what it's going to do is that it's going to ensure that no one can slip past it. No one can b-hop over it. No one can beat the timing because it was too deep. You don't want it to be flush when you're trying to buy time because, contrary to popular belief, when it is flush, okay, so when we see the molly in a position like this, okay, where it's basically in line with the wall, someone could just take 30, 40, 50 damage and jump over it real quick. We want to make it seem like they cannot get past it or they're going to die doing it. Celsius is just going to, I don't even know what that is, just Tim Tebow that thing against the wall. It does nothing. Bomb's going to go down. Second, panicking using the showstopper. Boaster face checks it and ends up dying for it. Chronicle went off and all here. Alpha does have his thrash. Saucy's going to get baited by the info of that Prowler. He's still going to get the kill. Chronicle with the lineup ult. That covers the spike. Hero's able to deny the defuse with his shorty. So trading utility here. Unable to really get him off. Chronicle left into the 1v3 now. Isn't able to convert. And Sentinels are able to actually clean that up when they really shouldn't have been able to. Shameless plug, I know, but if you guys are looking to get better at the game, my coaching is the best option you can have. Had 2 clients hit Radiant this week. Have another client, improving very fast. And these are just examples. I work with dozens of people. But getting back into the breakdown here, we are going to see LOTUS. This is a power map for both of these teams. It is going to be a mirror composition. And we do see kind of like some interesting approaches come out from this team again, right? The Durka, Odin in this position. These guys are bought down on their bonus where they can actually play to win it. How are they going to convert a man advantage situation? Or are they just going to grief another one? So Zekken pathing in must know some sort of like tendency here in terms of where these mollies are placed because he perfectly went to this position and was under the impression that he wasn't going to die. Alpha's going to get tethered. They're going to spam. They have 3 people here, and they have this information through the A line. Ten's going to die to a molly here. Alpha angling out, dying. A little bit of a grief there. Hero with a cleanup, no worries. Chronicle's like, you know what? I'm just going to get to be as fast as I can. And that's not a good decision. 3v3 now. Boaster unable to trade. Durka walking out on timing. Same page again, right? What are we doing? Why are we just forcing it every single time? Yeah, it's a bonus, right? I get it at the end of the day, but how many rounds have we reviewed where that isn't there? Where it isn't an excuse, where there isn't some card you can slap down on the desk and say, I had immunity, it was because of this. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. It's a part of the reason why this game is still going on. It's a part of the reason why they're going home on a plane right now. Advantage for Sentinels. Celsius on 1 HP, trying to play forward. Reposition coming out for Fnatic. I really like it. Boaster, please, please, please do not let Hero bait you. Please go first. You have smokes for the bomb. He's walking out in the open. Might be playing for damage here instead of actually trying to win the round. That's kind of like what it looks like here. Boaster trying to sound bait for him. Again, Hero in a position they're supposed to be capitalizing on bait or a play make. No good. Still not a terrible bonus by any means for Fnatic. They are going to be able to save this Odin. But at the end of the day, Sentinels are here. They just got a taste of it. 5v4. 5v4, 5v3, 2, sorry, 4. Drop to 3 now, 3v2 Hero. They're both death. You can run, you can make whatever play you want. Just probably not stand still. Don't put yourself in a spot where you stand still and they pin you down. Okay, so you do it. You get tethered and you die. 2v2 now. Second has his ultimate online. Stick coming through from Saucy. He's getting shot back at, so he shoots at them. Rocket pops for time. They have to respect it. Look how Zekken isn't just shooting it. He's going to let the fuse go to literally 0. So they just retake all the space, right? They could just be in a spot where, okay, whew, take a breather. Okay, we got a lot of space to work with now. They had to back all the way up. Alpha in a position where he's going to have to lead on 1 HP, but Chronicle has an Odin. I would have liked to see a gun trade come out here. Saucy lagging out. Zekken 1v2 with a nade online kills the full HP player. He knows he's won, looking for the fight as soon as he can. Alpha trying to hide the beanie. Dink comes through, pressuring upper, and that's why you buy the Sen Classic. 2v4. 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 Okay. Poster's just gonna run away and leave him there and try to buy time. He's on 1 HP. He's not even worth a full person. Okay. 3v2 here. 2 ults online. John's gonna go sniff him out, see if he can convert this kill on the 1 HP player. Doesn't see him, thinks he's repositioning, so he drops his pit. He's gonna play in it, where he has a little bit of cover. Saucy's gonna be on the other end, trying to guard the bomb. Nightfall used, no ping spawn, they know their waterfall and flank. John, look at the utility being used on him. Saucy gets his. Boaster, 1v2. Yoru cloning, trying to find him. Chronicle unable to capitalize. This was a 2v4, now a 1v3. Saucy able to close. You cannot be fucking kidding me right now. Derka, how mad are you, brother? I mean, this one has to sting right here. I mean, come on, bro. I don't know what this is supposed to be from Boaster, I really don't. Nightfall being used, just run away. You've done good, you've used your paranoia, run back. Just run away, you don't need to do any more. There's no smoke you need to throw, there's no play you need to make. Just sit there, let Derka come over with your ult, his ult. You can use your from the shadows, backside, tree room, front side. You can guide the showstopper from whatever position he wants to do it from. Okay, we play the 5v5, we're going to be in a good spot. John doesn't have his ult, right? Zelsis doesn't have his ult just yet. There's no real difficult thing we need to get in front of and try to break here. I mean, what's that? I mean, what is that? What's the boy in the hoodie doing? I mean, holy shit. That's a freebie. 5v4 now. Fnatic just making this so hard on themselves. Bomb planted in the open. Sentinels making a good post plant. Tenz putting an aggro smoke. Being able to contest it. If anybody comes through, he can paranoia and he can take the space. Zelsis full control of the flank. Saucy in a position to support from the tree room. John sitting and waiting. Wall cuts off the stairs position. Have to sit and wait. Showstopper being used. Alpha's able to trade. 4v4 now. Really nice Odin spam here coming in from Chronicle. Knowing when they're going to come in. They tap the door to get him to stop. He cannot just sit there and keep spamming. Durka's going to get a kill. 2 in the way of Sentinels. 3. John puts it down to a 1v1 for Zelsis. He knows he's 1 HP. Another molly comes through. No time left. Unbelievable scenes. You love to see a satisfying retake. Saucy's going to open it up with a kill onto hero. And look at the timing and the utility being used here. It doesn't even look like Fnatic have a chance. This is what it's supposed to look like. People blind, utiled off, taken away angles, put in spots and positions where they can't succeed. Flawless retake from Sentinels on the C site. Something that they were intentionally abusing Fnatic on that entire half. Imagine the scenes. Tournament on the line, 4-10 comeback, another one potentially. Instantly killed through the wall by a Guardian. 5v4, 1 second into the round. Bonus situation for Sentinels, 5v4. I mean, it's over, man. You've been outclassed, you've been out game planned. Okay, John is just gapping him. There's just nothing you can do. I feel bad for him, especially in a round like that where it really isn't his fault. He just ends up being the person who dies to that select spam. It's sad scenes. Here we go. Bot down all the way, ready to win. It's all or nothing. How many times are we gonna have to teach you this lesson, old man? Get away from the tree room, bro. So covering one point before we talk about the overall game recap, we talked about Boaster at the start. I don't mean to be some sort of scumbag who's picking on him because he didn't have the best series. He didn't really have the best tournament or the best season, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, it's something that needs to be considered and talked about. It's not harsh. I'm not belittling him. I'm not an enemy of him. I respect him. I've followed him from the beginning of the game. He's one of the people I look up to. At the end of the day, this is analysis. You can take it as it is. If you want to take it personal and cry, you know, unfortunately, this probably isn't the channel for you, but I appreciate you tuning in regardless. So there's 2 versions of a shit your pants situation as an IGL that I'm allowing the immunity. Okay, number 1, okay, you call a masterclass. Okay, so that's going to be a game where your mind is flowing at such a high level of focus where you can't really focus on your crosshair and you aren't able to convert kills, but you are still winning the game, right? So again, we're seeing a situation where Fnatic fall, even though, you know, I would say that Boaster had a pretty close situation here in terms of some clutch rounds from Sentinels. If they don't go that way, they might close out this map. I would consider this a potential masterclass win, right? So it's okay if he goes 9-17 because they won. Okay, the other version of it is, again, his situation in particular, firepower. If you are on some sort of disgustingly insane team where all cylinders are firing, Fnatic maybe, people like Alpha, Chronicle, Durka, and Leo, okay, Hero is standing in for him. At the end of the day, he's not bad, but he is not Leo level. Okay, then I'm fine if you're not going to get kills. But again, we aren't winning games, so there's no excuse for that. 9 and 17 here. Bind steps up and does well. You know, goes even at least. Okay, Lotus again. 7 and 15, 6 first deaths. So at the end of the day, if we're talking about master classes and letting other people play and frag, this number isn't so high, right? It is a best of 3, so 14 engagements isn't the end of the world by any means, but 0.7 rating, 27 kills. Okay, negative in the first deaths. Unfortunately, that is going to be something that weighs your team down when someone like Alpha Year is going negative. Someone like Hero is going negative. Okay, Durka is doing well in the first blood department. He definitely could be doing better, but at the end of the day, this is something that's weighing the team down. It's something that needs to be considered, and this is an example game for it, where if you are going to put up E kitten numbers here, 5, 8, and 17. You need to be winning the game, right? You need to be in a position where you're actually converting it. At the end of the day, Sentinels are looking lights out. We are slowly phasing out of the era of low fragging IGLs. Okay, John QT, Valen, people I can think of off the top of my head. Obviously, there's way, way, way more. But at the end of the day, IGLs are no longer coaches' game plan puppets where they just send them in there to remember a game plan and say it out loud and make sure everybody remembers. I know who we're all thinking of when, I say something like that. But at the end of the day, Sentinels is firing on pretty much all cylinders. They kind of like slipped and just made some mistakes here on bind. I think if Zelsis and tenz kind of like step up and able to convert situations that they normally would, they would be doing better. But Boaster does a great job of slowing the game down and just owning them on attack. That's another 8-round attack for Fnatic. So they're doing really good in that regard. They just can't close out defense when they really need to focus on working together and not letting Boaster carry them in terms of the comm department. Sentinels are going to move on to the top 4 of the tournament here. Here's the spread at the time that I'm making this video. This has been, again, an insane tournament, and this Heretic Sentinels match is going to be just as nuts as this EDG Leviathan one. So really interested in seeing how it pans out. Thank you all for the continued support. I appreciate it. Going to be covering all the playoffs matches, when I can, trying to pump them out. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're with me on all the socials down below, including Twitch where I stream. Again, I will see you in the next one. T-Dog out of here. Deuces.